Anyway, a little sick at the moment. But powering through. Thinking of having a little more coffee. It's like 9 o'clock and I'm drinking coffee. Actually have an appointment tomorrow. I'll be fine. I'm not worried. Excuse me. Western Kind says there is no need to feel sorry for someone that attempts to condemn you to life after altering condition of death through the clutch. Yes, the jab caused my friend to have eye problems. Now the Moderna takes a father and a man to condition a female not to hate themselves. Yeah, one thing about women that is kind of really disturbs me is the constant need for validation. It seems like I know so many of them that I don't know what it is, but like they don't have confidence, just innate confidence, and they seem to need it from others. And when when you recognize like, oh, you're really good at this, or I really appreciate you for that, or whatever, they're like, oh my god, you're so nice. Oh my god, oh, and I'm like, how come you just don't know that about yourself? Like, like, you don't need compliments to sustain you or whatever. Like, I don't know. It's just that it's a female thing is all I can say. I don't really know why they're like that. Not good, you know. I don't know if all women are like that, but a lot that I know are like that. Oh, hey, awesome sauce. I got a new friend here. Luke. Yes, we got a new friend with us here. Good to have you, bro. What's shaking?
Hey, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can. You're coming through very well. It's great to have you. I appreciate
Thanks, man.
I appreciate you coming on, man.
Dude, I would have came on earlier, but I was ravenously hungry after a hard day of work and
Well,
I had
I
to
get.
eat something.
Hey, man. That's totally understandable, and I hope you are satiated and ready for an amazing, fun conversation with Donald Kent.
Hell yeah, man. I'm probably too satiated, so I am going for a walk since it's
Nice.
such a glorious day
Oh yeah, it's been
outside.
right. It's been real nice where I am as well. So like that makes such a huge difference when like spring just starts to come out and you're like, oh, winter is finally over, and I don't know. There's something about that feeling of just like the smell of like the wet grass and the mud and like not having to look at the fucking snow all the time, and it's
Yes.
just new life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, dude. You know what really does it for me is
What's
when
that?
I don't have to scrape the ice off my windshield.
I hate that.
Yeah.
It's like it's funny because I've a friend who is trying to talk me into moving down south where he lives, and I've nothing against the South or whatever, but I don't have any like desire or inclination to do that. I would like to visit.
Yeah.
but he just keeps trying to like convince me, and I have to say I'm really fucking done with snow. You know, like
Yeah,
I
I'm sure you are. You've really had it dump on you in your area.
for my whole life, you know, this is like a snow area, so you know, I think maybe when you're a kid or something, there's a feeling of like, oh yay, Christmas and this and that, but like as you grow older, that wears off, you know, to say the least. You know,
Dude, I so feel that. I
yeah,
so understand that now.
yeah.
All these kids,
Hmm.
at my work, they would say, "Oh, I hope it snows. It's great when it snows because I can snowboard and I can make a snowman and blah blah blah." And
Yeah,
I'm like, "Yeah, kid, that's because you don't got to get out the snowblower
right,
and have
right.
the wind blow the snow back into your face as you clear the driveway."
Yeah, yeah. Dad does all that fun stuff. You know, he's out there. It's funny. I have memories of my dad, you know, coming in and having like snow and ice caked on his eyebrows and his hair and his face and stuff from like, you know, clearing off the driveway so he could go to work or something, you know. Pretty harsh, you know. But it is what it is. Anyway,
Yeah,
happy spring. I'm glad that the spring is
yeah,
springing, if you will. Um but what's new, man? You've been going through some changes.
yeah. Big changes, bro.
That's good. I'm happy
Um,
to hear that.
just
I hope Go ahead.
go ahead.
No, I
I'm
just was
just
saying.
really excited about going back to school.
Yeah, that was the thing. I hope that whatever advice I've been able to give you on that has been useful, you know, and like of some value, you know.
Yeah, I think because some of that stuff is going to be for valuable for years to come.
Mm-mm-mm.
Some of the resources you shared with me and such. That
Cool, cool.
AI thing with
Hmm.
answering questions and
Yeah, yeah.
any way to make jumping through the hoops a little easier.
Yeah. Now the way AI is working in college settings these days is that professors actually have software that can tell if the students wrote their paper with AI. Because
Oh wow.
so many people are cheating on
Oh
their
yeah.
assignments and shit. Like you can only imagine kids these days have every way to go around some shit, you know, like it's you're gonna I think you're gonna when you're around young people, you're gonna be shocked at like how different they are, you know, from your generation. And
Yeah.
some of it'll be fun and like energizing in a sense, and then other parts will be like, you people are fucked up, you know, like it'll be
Yeah, dude.
different.
I had an experience at work today
Okay.
that I can't vent about, but
Yeah. Yeah.
let me just say, in interacting with today's youth,
Yeah.
I am profoundly worried about the future of civilization.
Holy Jesus, dude, me too. It just gets worse and worse. Mm.
But yeah, that whole AI thing, I was just thinking of using it for research, honestly,
Right, right.
because it seems to be somewhat useful for pointing you in the right direction.
Hmm.
And then, but as far as like, dude, I want to do all the homework assignments, man. Like, I'm actually like chomping at the bit to
Oh, cool.
do
You
this instead of
right.
like a mundane menial job, you know?
Sure, my God, yeah. Let me quickly say hello to Charmin Matute, if I'm pronouncing that Matute. I don't know. It's got a new guest here. Me too. I don't know. It's just nice to have new people, and I always like to welcome them and say hello. Um,
Hell yeah.
yeah. So this is the mighty imminent rain, Luke Mason, here with us today, showing us his awesome jeans walking in the park here as we
Yeah, man.
discuss the future of humanity and
Sorry, I'm
transhumanism.
going so incognito. It doesn't really give me an option to use an avatar
Oh, really?
on this particular platform. So
Okay, okay. Um,
otherwise I would do that, but I'm getting more and more conscious of
yeah.
trying to keep my head down as things are heating up, you know?
Yeah, it's on. I mean, the whole thing right now about like TikTok and the ADL is totally behind that. There's some leaked what is it? Leaked conversation from Jonathan Greenblatt talking about how they don't have a social media problem, they have a generational problem, that the young people of today are they're J-pilled. They know everything and they can't be, and so like they want to control every single social media platform that they can to stop young people from passing on the truth about the Jews and Jewish hegemony, etc. And like I was in our chat, Jack White was saying like there's rumors that they're gonna come after Telegram, and Telegram is like our underground bunker. That's like our place where
Yeah.
it's like we're not in the public per se. It's just like
Mm-mm.
Clubhouse. So
Yep.
you can I mean, you have like the most hardcore Nazis in there and shit. You got like super
Yeah.
like wildly openly fascist type far right guys and whatever. Anyway, so I don't know, dude. I mean, it's just, how do I say, like, I think that as the circle closes, it's just going to push us somewhere else. We're not going away. The truth isn't going away. Just because you're silencing people doesn't mean the truth is going to stop existing. And it's too late.
Yeah.
The cat's out of the bag. It's too late.
Well,
The,
to me, it's tragic because,
yeah.
dude, like, I would say a good majority of white
Hmm.
folks
Yeah.
want to get along with every other group.
100,000%, dude. I think easily
Like,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. And really, all this is coming from is like, okay, so all that the global goblins would have to do
Hmm.
is not try to enslave us.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't think that's unreasonable.
Yeah,
And
no
also,
fucking shit.
like,
Yeah,
not try to keep us from having a homeland. And I'd say they owe us because
yeah.
our people gave them their homeland.
Holy fuck, dude. Wow. Well, I mean, yeah, that's a big topic, that whole thing. I'm hearing you loud and clear. Um, so wow, there's so many directions we could go with this subject. But I feel like the more that ADL, Jonathan Greenblatt, the Jews, etc., the more that they do this kind of censorship, the more they spotlight how they are in control and how they are fucking everything up. That it just proves our talking points even more. So I feel like it's backfiring to a degree. Um, I don't think the younger generation can be turned around. I think it's, like I said, the horse has left
Oh,
the
yeah, no,
barn.
it's too late, dude.
There's no, it's done. It's way past done. Here's the next thing they're going after. They're going after gamers. The ADL wants to have some kind of software put into place that monitors fucking gamers, and just to make sure that they're all saying what they're allowed to say and not talking about anything a right-wing extremist. Now, these are the most often, and again, though, they're targeting the younger people. I feel that there's going to be a kickback in such a way that we've never seen before. Like there's going to be some kind of blowback from that that'll be enormous. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I don't have any sympathy for the ADL. They're
Yeah,
demons,
yeah, me neither.
absolute demons.
They don't have
Really.
sympathy for us either,
No, we're
to be
we're
fair.
well. I mean, they Judaism is a hate cult. It literally it's a Christian hate cult. It's baked right into the religion to enslave and kill Christians, and by Christians
Yeah.
they mean the Europeans. That's like, because
Well,
that's what.
and not even just them, dude.
Yeah,
Every goyim,
true. And that,
all the nations of,
see, no,
yeah,
talk about bringing the world together. Like, think about that. If like all races, like, simultaneously, collectively recognize that there is this one world, quote, religion that is controlling everything, and that is in charge of the vaccine and the communism, and like hundreds of millions of deaths, controls the monetary system, the media, every fucking thing about the human experience is under their control, and their plans are to literally merge us with fucking technology to cut us off from
Yeah.
God. I mean, you'd think that the entire planet would come together and like, as one and destroy this, like fight this and destroy it totally forever. So,
I
and I
think
think they
that we're on the way toward that. I
well,
see movement.
yeah, I do too. There's this Asian guy. He's probably like Korean American or something, and he's becoming. I'm seeing him more and more in my feed, and I'm gonna reach out to him to get him on my show. He's a very
Nice.
yeah, he's an outspoken anti-Zionist. Like every single show or whatever clip or whatever that he does on TikTok is all about exposing the Jews. Like he's super hardcore, and I'm loving it. Like I'm crazy about it. So I'm like, dude, get on my show. So, um, yeah, and
Yeah,
I
dude,
just
I concur.
yeah. So there you go. But here's the thing: is like so many non-whites. How do I put it? There's a funny meme I just found today, and it's like the meme is this: it's like an alien watching TV, and on the TV it's like whites versus Jews, and then the alien's like, "Oh, I hope the whites win," but on like the text over the alien says Asians, so meaning like Asians are watching us fighting the Jews and like rooting for us, and I just
Oh,
you see
that's interesting.
yeah, you see, I mean, this is something that I've brought up many times, but since I'm such a small potatoes influencer, nobody catches on, and that is that people from all communist countries should be working together with white nationalists against Jewish power because communism
Yeah,
itself has destroyed their cultures. I mean, everywhere,
absolutely.
Cambodian, Venezuelan, Cuban, Chinese, you name it, where even Eastern Europe, they created communism as a proxy ideology to instate their Zionist power goals. And again, I knew this girl. I became good friends with this girl. Her father is from Cuba, and so she's like half Cuban. We were good friends for a long time. She moved out of blah blah blah. Anyway, she told me about like how her uncle in Cuba had his head cut off, and they played soccer with it because he
Oh
was
my gosh,
anti
dude.
anti communist. This is the fucking sickness of these things. I knew a
That's
guy.
dude, that's what's heading for every Western
That's just
nation.
what I'm fucking telling people. And like you got to stop with this. Oh
Dude,
no, yeah.
we are like Noah trying to warn people about
Oh
the flood.
Jesus. Oh my God. You can't. That's the best analogy, dude. That is such a good. And we've been trying to do it with the vaccine, and it's so frustrating. It's just.
But
I
look
don't
at the
know.
vaccine.
Yeah.
Part of the reason I'm able to do what I'm planning to do
Yeah.
is because those lockdowns failed.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
So,
um,
dude, I have to ask you a kung fu question.
oh, okay. We can change the topic. Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, it's related to communism.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That's
I
interesting.
had
Go
a
ahead.
kung, yeah, I had a kung fu teacher that told me, he said that the communists came in and they ruined Shaolin Kung Fu. And
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
basically, he even said that they turned it into like, what did he call the modern wushu? He called it communist dance moves.
All right. I'll tell you the
But
inside
I
scoop.
mean, I, yeah, I like the way some of those guys move. And so I don't want to disrespect, but
I'll give
the
you
other
the
thing
inside.
that he told me,
Go ahead.
he said that the triads were basically that they descended from like the people who survived Shaolin, and that they were like the anti-communists, and the reason they became a gang is because they were like resisting communism by basically forming their own illicit government kind of a thing. So I just want
So
your take on that
yeah,
stuff.
the triads have been around for centuries at least. I mean, that's a deeper topic, but let me try to back up a little bit. So I went to Shaolin overseas temple in Queens for 3 years. super close to the monk there, and not blah 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 all this stuff. So and the
Yeah.
community, I taught English in the Chinese community, blah blah blah, and they gained like I gained their trust quite intimately, and so my friends explained to me that the official abbot of Shaolin Temple is placed there by the Communist Party. He's a fake monk, and that
Oh, wow.
the real abbot of the temple is like the dishwasher, basically. You know,
Whoa.
yeah, yeah.
That's right out of a movie, dude.
It's China. It's so typically China. And the you have to understand that Shaolin has been around for fucking 2,000 years, and they've gone through countless civil wars and countless political upheavals. This is not their first rodeo. In order for them
Gotcha.
to, yeah, in order for Shaolin to survive, they know how to kind of tai chi their way through these things. They know how to just work with it. I don't know how to express that, but to kind of go with the flow in order to keep it alive. Now, the Chinese government understands that Shaolin is a tourist attraction, and so they turn it into that. The dancing, blah 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 blah. So it's essentially a money making thing. If you go to Shaolin Temple, all the entire town around it is nothing but like a gift shop, and everything. You get the
Ah,
general,
yep.
yeah, you get the general
Yeah.
idea. Um, oh, da, da, da. So like the super simple version of it. And like for example, I have a magazine of my teacher. It's like Kung Fu magazine. It was from years ago, and there's a photo of him with the abbot, the communist assigned abbot, and it's like official photographs from the Shaolin Temple of the blah 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 blah, and and my kung fu master, the Shaolin monk, is saying like he's that that guy is a scumbag, basically, like he's not a monk.
Nice, dude.
Well, I mean, he didn't say that exactly. I'm basically because he's
No, but
you know
dude, it's so awesome that you got the inside scoop because so few people ever are even
yeah,
aware of this.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So, what else can I tell you? Is because you asked a couple questions. Does that answer it, or
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah. So the kung fu, did it become more gay because of the
I would never
communism?
use. I wouldn't turn. I would. So, okay. If we go back into the
Like
history,
it's no longer about killing, right?
um, so I think the Chinese would generally say that it's a tradition. It's a cultural tradition. Um,
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, any one of those monks could kill like 10 men easily. They're like on hyper turbo killer mode all the time. These guys are they're
Dude,
even
we need something like that.
yeah, massively, bro, massively. And there's a deep Chinese ethno nationalism connected to it as well, which is an unspoken aspect of it. If
That's
you
glorious. There should be.
Yeah, yeah, I agree, I agree. So let me try to go into this. I haven't thought about this in like a long time, so I'll try to open it up. Um, okay, you got to understand that the majority of China are poor country folk, and if you can get your kid enrolled into Shaolin Temple, it is a huge honor for your family. Your family gets massive status, and so like children at like the age of 4 and 5 are shipped off to Shaolin Temple, and there's videos of these poor kids that are essentially like tortured into shape, where they're crying
Yeah.
in physical pain. It's terrible to watch. It's very terrible to watch. Um, excuse me. Anyway, what I'm saying here is that there when your family does that and you're brought up as a Shaolin monk, you just lost your life. You're not self-determined. You didn't choose to take that life. Now, granted, you're getting a lot of status and you have this power and you're well taken care of. You're fed. You're within
Yeah.
this institution. You're not poor per se in the sense that like farmers have to work for their food and oh yada
Yeah,
yada.
dude, they get all day long to train.
Yeah, I mean, from our perspective, that's awesome, right? But
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say though is that they, if you're thrown into a monastery at 5 years old, you're not authentically a Buddhist monk, though. You are a warrior. You're trained to be a warrior, but you're not technically a monk in the sense that you chose to be one. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. That
So
makes a lot of
so
sense.
right. So Shaolin Temple, what's not talked about much is that there's a gigantic amount of just real monks that are there to study Buddhism, to practice Buddhism, and they're very high level, but they're off in the corner, somewhere that they're, you can't sell trinkets for that. That's not going to be
Yep.
exciting to watch a guy sitting facing a wall. Um, but I think it's a great source of pride for the Chinese in general. This I know that when this show's over, I'll be like, "Oh fuck, there were 10 more things I wanted to tell you," and I'm gonna be super pissed
Oh
at
yeah,
myself.
dude.
That happens all the time, and that this like because that's what I'm trying to dig up right now. Um, Communism. So here's the thing. Let's go back a bit. Mao Zedong.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Forget about the fact that this is Chinese. Try to imagine this is coming to America in the next 30 years. Okay. That's the
Yeah.
context. That is the way to
Yep.
look at what I'm saying and try to imagine that here. Okay. Possibly with Chinese occupation, if not NATO. And so under Mao, all intellectuals, all high people of high class, people that own property, were like, if they weren't murdered or imprisoned, they were forced out into the country to become farmers. And there were, God, how many people starved to death in China? God, hundreds of millions. Famines, like crazy, just insane. Communism is about erasing a culture and then starting it over from zero. So many, 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 many Buddhist temples were bombed. Like Tibet has lost so many temples that were literally bombed. There's footage of them exploding and shit. So the temples were turned into pigsties where they literally would put pigs into the monasteries and like let the
Oh,
pigs shit
dude.
everywhere. The monks and the nuns were all raped and all that kind of shit. Um, it was extraordinarily brutal. Like the suffering that the Chinese people went through under communism was psychotic to the extreme. Mainly because of the numbers of this fucking shit. And so it's this kind of self-hatred of one's own culture. And so, anything to do with tradition is bourgeois and must be eradicated. This is why most of the, well, not most, but like a lot of the best kung fu teachers fled to Taiwan, and Taiwan
Yep.
became like kung fu heaven. This is another reason why living in Taiwan was incredible. But so as through the 70s and then into the 80s, like, you know, everything, Mao died, and then you had Deng Xiaoping, and you had all these different people, and it gradually became a capitalist. Uh, I wouldn't call it a capitalist country, but it was like capitalism under communism, if you could make sense of that. And everybody wanted to get rich, and to be rich is glorious, and blah blah blah. And so they realized, well, let's monetize this traditional culture, so long as the government okays it. Now they have literally like the social credit scores. If so, for example, what I post on social media, I'd get arrested for sure for that. In fact, not just me, my family would be arrested for that as well. And so this is real. This fucking shit is real over there. And this is why we have to fucking defeat the New World Order and Jewish hegemony. Because, like everything the Jews make, communism is like a golem. It's a sort of a robot that they put out there, and they infect a country with it. And then they, if you look at the Khmer Rouge and all the, how, like, within the course of a week, all the, you know, intelligent people, the scholars, doctors, scientists were all pushed out into the countryside, if not murdered. And like the whole country went back to the Stone Age. So there's a lot of heavy shit that goes down. It's kind of it's astonishing to even think that anything has survived China. But
Man,
it's
I already see the signs of a lot of that stuff here
yeah.
in the
Oh yeah.
United States.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's why these fuckers who dox people, they're literally the Red Guard of America. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like the Red Guard were college and high school kids that were communist radicals, and they
Didn't
would
they like string up their teachers and eat them?
there's there's versions of that. Yeah, the professors were publicly humiliated, and like there were like giant outdoor sort of displays where you would get all the professors and put signs on them that talk, like I'm a bourgeois agitator or something, and they had to wear dunce caps, and and these like 14-year-old girls with like a communist red badge and their uniform and their hat would berate them in public, and which is, from a Chinese perspective, to have a 14-year-old girl humiliating, say, a 60-year-old man who's a scholar of Chinese
That sounds
literature, for
worse than
example.
death, actually.
To the Chinese, it really, really is. I mean, that shit is very deep. It cuts so deep. So what it is terrorism. It's a type of terrorism. When they did that, all of the people in China were like, "Fuck, I don't want that to happen to me." So I got to join in and I got to cheer it on. Otherwise, if I don't show absolute, it's like 1984. If anyone has ever seen the movie
Yeah.
1984,
The
it's
the 2 minutes of hate.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's the recent, not recent, but the one with William Hurt is a brilliant film. I just saw it like not long ago, but we're already there. We one, I don't know what the percentage is, but you've got the far left radicals. You've got just lefties who are brain dead shittards that just bought the T-shirt and dyed their hair and want to be cool. And then you've got like normies who sort of think that Trump is going to fix it all. And then you've got the rest of us who are the true dissident right, who know history, who know communism, who know Judaism, Zionism, all of the shit. And we're aggressively being more and more demonized, more and more censored. So it's a bad time. It's a bad time, and I don't really, I've disengaged, or I don't really believe in like rage porn and like fear porn, because there's every other video I see on my feed is like the
Yeah.
the EMP attack is coming and the nuclear bombs are coming and the blah 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 blah, and oh, by the way,
Yeah.
buy our food package or something or other. Like
And
I
the Beyond W violence, like I saw one that just really affected me, man. Like
they freak you out.
the girl that got her head bashed into
I was
the street.
I was talking about that not long ago in this show, actually.
And then they put a community notes on it saying, "Oh, she's not dead. She's just in critical condition." Like that makes it okay.
This is, yeah, this is what I'm saying is like, if humanity survives this shit, and I mean, I'm not exaggerating when I say that, because all of humanity is literally on the edge right now. And if you don't see that, you're just lying to yourself or you're not informed enough. But the fuck,
Yeah.
humanity is really on the edge right now, really. And like, you know, you have to have your head about you in this time. I don't know if there's an escape. I really just don't. At the moment, I don't see one. I see a war of attrition. I see things like slowly degenerating. The boiling frog process is just going to keep going. And when we continue to put like the GDP, Trump's tax breaks and shit ahead of our people and our culture and all this stuff, then it's just, because this is the thing, is like you were talking about the younger generation, colleges and that, like video games, TikTok, they don't. There's nothing in the world for them. They're already destroyed. Like 50% of homes are divorced. You know, they don't even know that they can find a wife. Let alone own a home. Like they're checked out, and I feel like these people could either going to just like fade into extinction, or they're going to become the Nazi youth of the future. Like they'll either become, yeah, it's on them. Like they're somehow or other, they're the generation that's going to have to choose if they want to live or die. And we all we can do is really set the table, so to speak, and then they can eat. I think that's the best I can say at the moment. I could be wrong. Anything could change at any moment. I'm really hoping for an alien invasion. And I know that's
Me too,
I
especially one from Antarctica. That would be great
you
right
nailed
about
it,
now.
brother. You so nailed it. Holy shit, you hit it so on the head right there. And that's not out of possibility. That's from my resources. There's a lot of talk of that. So, but the UFO component is highly infiltrated with counterintelligence. Um, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Western Kind says small communities of white positive people is a possible future. Talking about the situations with not forming families is all too accurate. So, I mean, I'm 100% for that, but
Yeah, me too.
I also think that's not going to protect us. That'll only make us an easier target.
Yeah.
You see what I'm
The first
saying?
thing I thought of, yeah, is
Yeah.
does Western Kind, does he know about Randy Weaver?
I don't
There's
know.
a there's a
Why don't you talk about Randy Weaver a little bit?
there's a guy in the area that I'm in.
Yeah.
There back in like 1996,
Yeah.
there was a standoff with the feds,
Yeah.
and they framed this guy, and basically uh, he knew that they were being dishonorable, and he didn't show up for the court date.
Okay.
So they sent like the entire military to his house, killed
Oh,
his
this
son,
is
killed his wife.
okay. Yeah, this is fairly well known, I think, in our sphere.
Yeah, Ruby Ridge.
Yeah, Ruby Ridge. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And they can do that to any of us at any time, even if we
well,
build a nice little
and
community.
now they do it with robots and drones, so they don't even have to get their fingers dirty.
Yep.
Um, so don't get me started on feds. It's like
Yeah.
you know,
Well,
just
or they could just keep people poor,
yeah, poverty is. We had
by
that
making sure they
conversation.
don't have.
Yeah, we just had
Go
that
ahead.
conversation last time, where it's like making you poor is the thing that stops you from having any agency in a way. Like you don't have. If I had, the money or whatever and the resources, I could put together a plan, and like get
Yeah.
shit organized and make things happen. Um,
Yep.
the thing you're not supposed to say, which is that in the end, in the very, like the whole like all we wanted was to be left alone kind of thing. But then when you just get
Yeah.
pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed, then in the end, what you're going to fight back. You're going to fight back. And so for the, that's what all this demonization is about. This whole right wing extremism, January 6th and MAGA, and they're trying to
Yeah.
make us. They're trying to make us look like we're the radicals when they are the radicals. In terms
Yep.
of they're just essentially it's just a new form of communism. So anyway, we got a couple comments. Are worried about how the kids will marry. Doesn't really receive miracle. Yes, there's a whole other thing. Hippocratic oath brought up a point of like, how do you find someone who's not vaccinated to marry and have kids with?
Oh, yeah.
Fuck, dude. You
I didn't
see,
even
this
think about
this
that.
is what I'm saying. Is like it's already too late in many ways. It's already too late. And like I can in my back of my head, I can hear certain people that I know go like, "Oh, you're so negative." Blah, blah, blah. Hey, let's check out the football game. I'm like, I want to punch these people so fucking hard. And like for so long, we've been warning them and sharing information, and they're like, "Well, I don't know, you're kind of radical there." Like
Yeah.
death,
Yeah,
death
dude.
by death by stupidity.
One of the guys that red pilled me, his name's Bill Rise. He's like basically censored off of everything, but
Sure, of course.
he said that there's there's usually only like one person who gets it in every family, and he's including extended family. But I think that a lot of what keeps people from noticing it
Yeah.
or makes it easier for them to turn a blind eye is just comfort. You know, the second it actually affects them, it's going to be world changing for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I can only say that because I had an experience like that. But the thing I worry about is that, you know, I just hope that it's not too late, that there's still some ground that we have by that time when these
Yeah.
other people. And honestly, I guess the scenario I keep thinking of is like, you know, like the Ark. The Ark was kind of a bottleneck, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm not imputing history to like a you know, like a religious document, but I'm just saying, like, as an example,
Okay.
of allegorically, I like on the Ark, it was a bottleneck. It was only a remnant that made it.
Oh,
And
okay.
I think the uncomfortable truth is that, you know, there's certain things that uh, we are not going to be able to turn around and keep from happening
Yeah.
unless there were drastic action. And that
Right.
action should have taken place like 50 years ago.
So, let's see. Welcome to Ivan the Horrible. Welcome to the chat. I wanted to read Western Kind's comment. He's saying, if you are not engaging in organization where people talk about playing soldier and violent overthrow and still are targeted and killed, then at least your suffering is over. It's like this is how
Yeah,
this
actually,
is what's
better
this
to
is
go down fighting, right?
well, that's definitely true. I mean, shit, if you're gonna go out in a blaze of glory. But like, this is the level of comfort that we're seeking at this point. That like, it's better to be dead than to live in this fucking slave planet. And it's actually true, you know. But the problem is,
Yeah.
you don't want to get reincarnated by the archons who put you right back into the system. And
Oh, yeah.
here's the real problem is that what's it called? Transhumanism will absolutely do that. It'll cut you off from your god nature, and and then make you totally programmable. The people who conceive of these things and fund these things, I mean, tell me they're not like demons in human form. I mean, it's totally and utterly demonic, you know. So I don't know. I'm feeling like Christians may, if they can get some backbone, maybe the ones that lead in this way. I don't know. I mean, we're all waiting to figure that out and see. But so yeah. Anyway, happy times. Oh, is that a skull that you got there? Yeah,
How do
yeah.
you like my new look, dude? I've
Oh
been
wow, man, that is hokey
I've been
dokey.
working on some weight loss lately.
Oh, you gotta tell me what you're taking weight loss pills? Is that what it is?
No, no. I did change my diet recently.
That's cool.
I kind of just stopped eating bread,
Good.
even though like I doubled my grocery bill. I just got
Okay.
tired of like eating, you know,
Yeah.
eating the typical goy slop and like ramen, not the good kind of ramen either, you know, like the cheap
You
ramen,
get
top
away
ramen and
from
bologna
that's
sandwiches.
dude, that's so bad for you, man. Please don't do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So today I had, what did I have? I had some hard boiled eggs. I had cheese in a what do you call it? Like a wrap type thing, and toasted it. I had a big salad with some what do you fucking call that stuff? The white cottage cheese, and that was it. I had a cup of mud water. I've been getting into mud water. I don't know if you guys know what that is. It's like mushroom and turmeric and stuff. Like, there a bunch of different mushrooms that are ground into a powder, and then honey in there as well. But like, I don't eat much, and what I do eat is almost entirely, well, let's say closer to 90% vegetarian. But I don't know. I like not eating in a way. I like that, like, because like, I don't know. I always feel heavy and logy when I eat, so it's nice to gradually
Yeah.
wean myself off of that. And you know, it just feels so good to be more light and healthy, eating lots of vegetables and stuff. But I found out that like
Yeah.
a lot of the beans and nuts that you have for this type of diet cause kidney stones. So I have to figure out
You're
which ones.
shitting me, dude.
No, no, that's a
Which
serious
ones cause
issue.
kidney stones?
Well, kidney beans, almost all of the nuts. There's only a few nuts that don't, like walnuts,
Walnuts
sunflower
don't?
sunflower seeds don't, walnuts don't.
Dude,
Um,
you want to know something crazy?
yeah,
That's the two kind of nuts I was snacking on this week.
well, funny.
Isn't
Um,
that wild?
I mean, you can just Google this stuff. It's not, it's
Oh
fairly
yeah,
easy to
yeah, that's
find
true.
out.
Yeah.
But lentils are an excellent source. What I do is I put a lot of like cayenne pepper, turmeric, just I sort of spice things up a lot. And
Yeah.
like you can have some of it sometimes, like you can have a little peanut butter sometimes, or some tofu sometimes. If you're having it every day, then you're gonna get kidney stones, so yeah,
Yeah.
it's just you can't win, man. Everything, you know it's like then fucking kill
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
Dude, it's like you have to have a diet of broccoli and air.
That's so true, dude. It's ludicrous. It's
Oh
ludicrous.
man. But yeah, I made some delicious food for myself this
Yeah,
time around, this week,
yeah,
and it
yeah,
really made a difference. And you know what my struggle is, bro? I'm not good at the fasting thing, and I'm a grump when I'm hungry. So if
yeah.
I can like do like the small meals just to keep myself from getting too hungry to where I make a bad food decision,
That's a
that's like my
great.
first battle
That's a great
right
approach.
now.
Yeah, no, that's a very, very good approach. Like, whatever the sizes of it, more fruits. Definitely get more fruits in there if you can.
Yeah, dude, I
Um,
have been. I should tell you what I made. So my snacks have been apples and bananas, and then walnuts and what do you call it? The sunflower seeds.
yeah, yeah.
Although I found out that the sunflower seeds I have are like way past the expiration date. I didn't know they
Oh,
expired.
oh God.
Yeah, but I was like, wow, these taste kind of weird. But
Oh
I
God.
made like chicken curry with broccoli,
Nice.
and I'm not on the healthy rice yet, but at least I have like jasmine rice
Okay.
because my cousin gave me a rice cooker, and
Oh,
then I also made like a what do you call it, like a ground beef stroganoff with just ground
yeah,
beef and
yeah, yeah.
broccoli with the cream of mushroom
Oh,
soup and sour
that's
cream,
good.
and then
So,
over rice. So
first thing I gotta say is watch the sodium because you're talking a lot of sodium right there. And I mean,
yeah,
you know, this is a thing people don't understand is like how bad that can be for you. The American diet is so heavy with salt. Um, but just
I'm
throwing
gonna
in,
have to wean off of that because it's hard for me to eat low sodium food, dude. It's like torture.
I've trained myself to change the way, like what I like to eat. When you have health limitations, you just like,
Yeah,
okay, either I change my fucking lifestyle, like I literally change as a person, or I'm gonna go down a bad road. You see what I'm saying? And
yeah.
I got a son to take care of, and I got a future. I gotta fight the Jews, man. I gotta be around, So
Yeah, and that fictional book that you're writing.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So speaking of fictional books, I'm talking with Justice Report about doing a web comic for them. Did I tell you about that?
Oh, that's killer. No, tell me about it.
Well, excuse me. We're still in discussion about it. Sorry. Uh, so I can't get too deep into the details, but I'm probably at the moment it's looking like probably MAGA force and militiaman are
Yeah,
going to be the thing because I'm already one issue deep into it, and we can kind of give that away for free to get people hooked into it. And
yeah,
from their perspective, they want to get more into arts and culture in our sphere and not just a news aggregate. They're thinking about putting out like a newspaper or a quarterly magazine. So, you know, there's costs involved in these things, as you can imagine. So that's not in my power. Like I don't, that they have to talk that out and figure that out for themselves what they're going to do. But I'm hoping. I'm very hopeful. I'm really excited that this might work. In my life as a freelancer and artist, I can't tell you, probably 90% of the things that projects that I've had a chance to be in never came to fruition. Like, people love to say, "Oh, wouldn't it be great if we could do this?" But then it's just a fantasy, or there's no money, or there's some fucking problem. So, like, I'm not
Yeah.
blaming those guys. That this is I'm not trying to throw shade on them. That's not what I mean to say. What I mean to say is that when you engage in prospects like this, you just don't have your expectations very high, because you're probably going to, like, you just don't want to get disappointed, is essentially what I guess I'm saying. So
Yeah, dude, I see it, man. I think that's like most of all the bands that I tried to be involved in.
there you go. There you go. Yeah. I'm a little sick right now, so I'm not expressing myself with the most clarity. But
Oh, dude, you're firing on all cylinders, bro. I haven't noticed it at all.
oh, geez. Well, like what's going on in my life, my personal life, I think a bit as well.
Yeah, yeah,
I think
you've made mention.
yeah, I was talking earlier to the guys in the chat about someone I know who is just got put into hospice for aggressive brain tumor, and so that's why,
Oh,
yeah, that's why I haven't been doing this show for the past 2 weeks, as I've been in the hospital with him and his family. But then, while that's happening, one of my best friends tells me that he now has cancer, and my brother's having surgery in a week, and, like, just the whole fucking world is coming to pieces. Like, 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, there was another guy I know who, quote, died suddenly, like a stroke or
oh
something.
man.
I mean, it's just, everything is fucking insane right now. It's totally insane. So that's kind of why, like, you know what, I'm not going to shut up. I'm going to make you uncomfortable. you know it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, your comfort is not my prerogative. You being like normies, or my family or whoever.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a beautiful
Dude,
illustration. Yeah.
yeah, I need to take a look at because I've been so focused on keeping my face off camera that I haven't really gotten a chance to look at what you're doing. What is this that you're showing
Well,
us right here? This
this
is
is a book of a collection of so back in, shit, I think probably back in like the 50s, starting in the 50s, there's a magazine that came out called Creepy.
oh,
The
is that a
one,
Frazetta on the front?
I'm going to say yes, that is a Frazetta on the front there. And so this is a collection of the Archives, Volume 1. So from, like, I don't know when it stopped, sometime in the 70s, the Creepy magazine stopped, but it's all really, really great horror illustration comics. And this is what I mean, when I say comics, this is kind of what I'm talking about. Like,
Oh yeah,
the
dude.
illustration
You know what?
level is fucking phenomenal.
This reminds me of that looks like almost like Bernie Wrightson.
This, I think, is Al Williamson right here. This is Reed Crandall. Now, I understand what you mean by that, because Bernie Wrightson he uses a ton of sort of rendering lines, and
Yeah, kind of like
he's a big
Doré.
he's a big guy in the horror genre.
Yeah,
Big guy in that area. So yeah.
dude, I've been looking at trying to just read more comics, and I found a cool site called YSK where you could read some comics for free, but I guess I want to start like copying pages just to pick up some
Sure.
style.
Totally, dude.
And I was thinking like maybe I should start with some of the dudes that you like. I looked into Gil Kane.
I love Gil Kane. Yeah.
Yeah, like the Silver Surfer, and he did the Green Lantern and stuff.
Well, he's famous for
It's
it.
just yeah, it's hard for me to like. I need to actually visit like a comic shop or something,
Hmm.
or maybe just go to Amazon because they have this Comixology thing where you
Oh
can
yeah.
like get like individual comics for like 2.99.
Yeah, yeah. So there's a shit ton of free comics on the internet if you don't mind the digital versions. I mean, there's this
Yeah, no, I don't mind that at all.
yeah,
Makes it easier, in fact.
Go to archive.org and type in, say, like Heavy Metal Magazine or Creepy Magazine.
Oh, you're shitting me. Archive
You,
has that stuff?
last I saw, yes. I don't know if anyone took it down for copyrights, some shit or what have you, but you can just get a treasure trove of like free comics that are phenomenal. So yeah.
Dude, I'm gonna follow up on that. Last time I was on Archive,
Yeah.
I know about the copyright thing because I was on Archive trying to find like some of Ed Parker's old books
Oh,
because I
cool.
liked some of that Kempo stuff, you know, and
Oh, nice,
and I
nice.
was like, and like a lot of the books that were up had been taken down, and it's like
Damn.
copyright, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I gotta get a sweater on. Hold on a sec. Oh shit.
Yeah, yeah,
So the reason why it's getting cold in my studio is because the window's open. So you're gonna have to carry the torch for a minute here while I shut the window.
yeah, yeah. No worries. Yeah, the copyright infringement. Dude, you know what's crazy else that I noticed? I don't know if any of you guys in the audience, if you guys ever use the Brave browser to avoid ads on YouTube. And I was, I do that a lot now because my buddy turned me on to that idea. And I was listening to one of my favorite podcasts on YouTube. It's called the Draftsman Podcast.
Yeah,
It's actually an art podcast,
nice.
and and but there was this one video. It was like the next podcast in line, and they're like, "You must sign in. This requires age verification." And I'm
Right.
like, "Dude, on an art podcast, really?"
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's bizarre. That makes no sense. I can't really make sense of that unless they're showing nudes or something. I guess I don't know
I
what
think
else.
that's probably what it was. Like they do, it's art, dude. Like it's way
Yeah,
easier to draw a nude person than it is to draw a clothed person because of the folds and wrinkles and all that.
I hear you, man. There's some of the comics magazines go into that quite in detail. The way that if you bend your arm or your knee, that the logic of it is that the folds will go this way, for example. So you can look into stuff like that.
Yeah, I find it all fascinating, dude. I'm like soaking stuff up like a sponge these days.
Nice, nice. So I have a cold and I'm super freaking. I'm whipped. I'm just burned out. I apologize, but I think I'm gonna have to wrap
Oh,
it up.
dude, I think I gotta go too anyways, bro.
Okay.
I'm past my bedtime. So dude,
All
thank
right,
you
gang.
for having me, and
Yeah,
thanks to our awesome audience. You guys are so insightful. I'm seeing some of these comments and stuff, and you guys
yeah.
are just on point and
Right. I'm sorry I
the
couldn't.
best dudes in the world to hang out with.
Tell me about it. I'm sorry I couldn't respond more with you guys. There's a lot of interesting things I've been wanting to react to, but just can't juggle too many things. Anyway, I'm gonna try to get back to doing these regular streams again. Be patient with me. I'm going through a lot right now. But God bless you guys. Make every day count, and love your brothers and sisters. Okay. All right. So, Mr. Luke, imminent rain.
Hail so hard, y'all.
Hail so hard, my brother. I love you guys. Have a great night. I'll talk to you next time.
You
Okay, bud.
too. Take care.
Bye bye.